Hi and welcome to another episode. This was going to be about my Archimedes A3010 and upgrading its memory, but I forgot to press the correct button so that the audio got recorded, and then when I could be bothered to do it again, I actually had a head cold, so it's been a bit of a gap yet again. But let's start on with episode 9 of the Big Box Amigas and end up with Tower Fra for the Amiga, £24.99. Is that the 28th day of the 2nd? Maybe that's to let them know when it came in. Or they'll put it on the shelf. Thalton again. I've had some of their games already. Back in 1990. Some graphics there for the Amiga, Atari ST, and for the Amiga. I love how it's a menu system for the ST. It's not as if it's a bit fair. It's not exactly fair to the Atari ST, but the graphics seem so basic, I don't really think there was much of a difference between the two. Anyway, the point of this one, as I'm sure you've already guessed, is that you get to be the tower to make sure that the planes come in and land properly. So let's look inside. A couple of floppies, program, disk and data disk. And then we've also got the manual. Palm size really, relatively thick. How many pages does it say it's got? Well, 78, but 90, 80, you know, that sort of count. Lots of information about what's what and what planes can do what by the looks of it, so the weights and classes and things like that. So if you like sitting down and making sure your planes come landing in and go the right direction and don't crash into each other and all that sort of stuff, this is the game for you. There seems to be a fair bit of information and teach you what's what, which is always a good thing. I'm not always sure that there's a huge amount of people that like to play games like this, but obviously there must be enough. Sort of thing I think that if you're going to play it though, you have to really get into it and, you know, really understand what's going on, and maybe even be interested about going and getting a career in such a thing. Obviously I'm not going to say it's a replacement for the real thing, but it can maybe give you some interest. Someone's got to do it. Mentioning an Amiga 1000, oh, you need an Amiga with at least 1 meg, which is quite a big game then if it needs 1 meg. Simple, but I'm sure that's very interesting for the sort of people that like that sort of game. Let's move on to the next one. This one's a bit more action-packed. Knights of the Sky. Modem Play. I wonder if that would work with other people that have these Wi-Fi modems on the serial port, you know, to play against the internet. I wonder if that would work. Mentions lots of different types of Amigas, 500, 1000, 2000, 2500 and 3000. 1 meg is required. Colour monitor only. It says already there's 2.5. There's 2 3.5 inch discs. Mouse supported. Joystick recommended. Hard disk supported. When did this game come out? Where is it? 1990 as well. So some 3D looking graphics with a 2D cockpit. Obviously it's made by Microprose, simulation software, MPS Labs. So you get fly 20 different planes in World War One. Challenge event over modem or direct cable, Amiga and PC versions only. And actually it says that these pictures are from the IBM, so PC pictures. Let's have a look at what's inside. It's one of these sleeve games, still in quite good nick. Put that there. So what have we got? Well, we already know we're going to get 2 floppies. Big floppy manual. Nice bright photo on the front there. So it's two fellas dressed up in RAF uniforms by the looks of it, and there seems to be just a drawing on the back. Well, I don't expect them to take photos of real planes falling out of the sky, but you know what I mean. I was wondering if it was computer graphics or it's a painting. I can't really tell because it's fuzzed. It's a bit blurry. Looks quite sharp on the camera, but to me it's actually quite blurry. So let's start from the front this time. Interesting picture. So lots of information again. Quick start on getting going. So you have to flight training, choose your aeroplane and choose your base. Your first solo flight. And it tells you how to actually fly your planes. Explains what's what on the cockpit. And a bit about World War I. Practice games, head-to-head play using your airplane, how to do loops, climbing turns and things. So it's explaining how to actually fly. And different squadrons and fighters and things. And the different types of weapons that can be loaded on the front, the machine guns. It's actually very clever. I can't remember the full details, but they're very clever on how to be able to shoot bullets through the propellers. Obviously it doesn't, it's all timing so that the propeller spins on past and so the bullet can zoom in between the gap that's created, but obviously to our human eyes it looks like it should shoot the propellers off, which of course did happen in testing, but they figured it out and make sure it doesn't happen. Don't want to be shooting yourself down. But it made it a lot easier to be able to fly your plane and shoot through the propellers, because it meant the pilot knew where he was shooting. He could line his sights up. At least that's how I understand it. So different the planes telling you what's what. And where they appeared in history. So if you're into that sort of stuff, there's a bit of history there for you. And the designer's notes. So yeah, that's a nice little one. Coming a bit away there, but what do you expect for the age? That's a nice manual there. What's this? A summary card to let you know what keys do what. So yeah, again, lots of different keys to remember. What's this bit here? Interesting way of packing the paper, that. It's an unusual way of, and the way it folds out that way. Because it does, it's page 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6. That's an unusual. Don't think someone got their DTP set up right when they printed that out. Makes it a bit more difficult to read. And what we've got here, do we have a poster? Or is it a map of some sort? A map, operational map of the Flanders front. So there we go. Let's see if we can get all of this on. There's a bit of a bit down here. Lets you know what the keys is really. And another bit of paper, or a bit of card actually. It's that sort of paper where it's, is it paper, is it card? It's very thick for paper but thin for card. Knights of the Sky, head-to-head play via modem. So it's telling you what you need. So you can choose between 1200 and 2400 for your data speeds. And recommended, of course, is a whopping 2400. very fast. And you can call someone up and play with them. As I say, it'd be interesting to see if you could use that across one of these Wi-Fi modems. But yeah, that's a interesting game. I seem to remember this was on Bad Influence so many years ago, but they showed the PC version of it. Is this the game? Tell me in the comments below. Is this one of the first flight games that you could play across the modem, or at least on the PC? You know, it was a big thing. Let's try to get people gaming over the phone lines. And on to the last game, Tornado, Action 16, and digital integration. Is this Action 16? Is this one of these budget games? It sort of reminds me of, well, the budget releases of games, the way it's designed. I don't really remember an Action 16 labels. Amiga 500, A600, 1200, and A400. 1 megabyte required, kickstart 1.2 or later. It's hard disk installable. Accelerator card recommended. Ooh. And a mouse required, joystick optional, analog or digital. So they're really going out as being a flight simulator if they're offering analog. It came out in 1993. So 200 feet, 600 knots, adrenaline off the scale. So this is a simulator training, combat and multi-mission campaign, multi-aircraft coordination attacks, 2-seat cockpit, pilot and navigator, weapons officer, and so on and so on. So you can have a 2-player option. So yeah, and it says that again in a couple of other languages. So, but these are PC screenshots. But according to PC Zone, it gave it 93%. Tornado is simply brilliant. The depth, the realism, and PC Review gave it 9 out of 10 as a superb simulation with enormous attention to detail. And it reckoned even 3-year-olds could play this game. I'm not so sure about that. But anyway, what do we have inside? We have 4 floppies, and this is where discs, I think in the later states they started being quite interesting with the labels. Full-blown stickers. We have a control summary for the Amiga, mouse, keyboard and joystick equivalents. Whoa, that's a lot of keys to try to remember what does what. That is an awful lot of keys to try to remember what does what. Oh, have I folded it up incorrectly? I bet I have. Come on, there we go. And there's a manual. This one's in English, so they must have done other ones. Aerial photographs. I wonder where. So it's tiny writing, and they've started writing on this side, which is unusual for a manual or a book or any kind. IBM PC system requirements, as we already read, needs 1 megabyte, at least 880k RAM free. Hard disk, you need 4.5 megs free, and it reckons that in 68,030 is better with 1 megabyte, and no modem cable, so you can play 2-player across no modem cable. Again, I wonder if that's possible to play with those Wi-Fi internet serial things that you can get. And it tells you how to install it to the hard disk. So it's got that kind of just normal paper feeling. It's not glossy in any way on the inside. Some images to let you know what things should look like for simulator training and combat. I don't really see that really shows you very much when it's so small. So let's see what's got inside though. Mission planners. this is going into an awful lot of detail. Reading the flight plan and waypoint data. Dear me. Some of these flight games really go into very deep detail. I wonder how many people played these sort of games and actually went on to becoming pilots in some way. Maybe not fighter pilots, but you know, commercial airlines and stuff. Or if they're lucky enough just to do it for the fun of it. Because you do learn an awful lot from these, by the looks of it. Again, I'm not saying it's replacement for true study, but it must give you a good standoff point. Or jump off point, whichever way you want to say it. So spills, spins and spin recovery. So maybe they should have read that then for in Top Gun the movie. But that's not an easy thing to do though. So weapons to ground and when you should drop your bombs and awful lot of things. Now I think this is one where it could have done with a big poster decked out like we've seen on other games. The Thrustmaster FCS seems to be a joystick it's recommending. Telling you how your no molding cable should be wired up from 25 to 25, from 9-pin to 9-pin, or 25 to 9-pin. Amiga via direct cable only. Plug cable into serial port on each Amiga. Ignore references to baud rate or ports. There we go. A load of stuff about loading it off of CD-ROM for the PC. And then the index. And then it's trying to push another game. Tornado Operation Desert Storm. That's another good little game. So, I hope that was interesting to some. I realise it's maybe not what you thought it was going to be this episode. As I said, I was going to do some stuff on the Archimedes. I've got, by the amount of games I've got left, I believe I've got 2 or 3 more Amiga Big Box Games. Mainly because, as I've been doing these, silly me's been actually buying some more games. So, hope you stay interested for those. But as always, happy gaming!